Day 3 called on competitors to journey 2.5 hours to Melbourne, where Sandown Raceway and Essendon Airport promised to provide exciting battlegrounds for Dutton competitors. After leading on Day 1 and then again on Day 2, Peter and Jeff seemed set to take out the Victorian round of the 2006 Alphera Dutton Rally. But with only 145 points separating them from second place, anything was possible. So how do the boys think they went yesterday?
Very well, rather conservatively, but some reasonable times, and extended our lead actually. I think a few of the others made a few mistakes.
With competition so close, who were Peter and Jeff's main concern?
Well, there's 3 or 4 going pretty well. Yeah, who's the main one?
Well, Martin and Simon, I think they went very well yesterday. Had a rough day on Friday, but they've bounced back yesterday and got up to second place, so they're our threat.
Located 11 kilometres from Melbourne CBD, Essendon Airport is the first location for Day 3. Established in 1921, one of Essendon Airport's more notable arrivals was the Beatles, who in 1964 were greeted by thousands of hysterical teenage fans. Today, a smaller, slightly more subdued group greeted competitors. The only event held at Essendon Airport was a tight rat run through cones and trees that left competitors seeing stars and smoke. Intent on pleasing the fans, Mark Tierney and his 1965 Mustang put in this performance. While the more serious competitors kept their eyes on the prize, putting in controlled, routine performances that ensured no mistakes were made. The result? Top 10 finishes for all. The official charity partner for the Dutton National Series, Sunnyfield, is about independence, creating possibilities for people with disabilities. Thanks to the help of Dutton Rally participants, it's been a good year for the charity.
It's been a fantastic year. We've raised close to $60,000 from the 4 events so far.
The Victorian round of the 2006 series generating a great result.
This was the highest revenue spinning one for us. It was $21,000.
A fantastic result going towards a great cause.
Sunnyfield is a not-for-profit that supports people with disabilities and helps them gain independence in their life, in all aspects of their life, from where they live to working and to just having some respite to give the families a break.
25 kilometres east of Melbourne, Sandown Raceway was first opened in 1962 and held the exciting Sandown 500 in 1984. Now called the Better Electrical 500, this is one of the endurance races on the V8 supercar calendar and attracts international stars along with the best of Australian drivers. Yep, world-famous drivers such as Sterling Moss and Bruce McLaren have competed here. But who are they next to National Dutton Series competitors David Finnemore and Chris Sprangers? The boys tell us how they went in the last round of the rally held in Queensland.
Yeah, we got second out right up there, so we come down here to try to go for the national title as well. I think we were coming second, but after yesterday, I'm not too sure how that's going to be looking. There might be a bit second hand, I think, more than second.
Series sponsor Barry Smith at Barry Smith Motorsport has competed in all 4 rounds of this year's series.
Yeah, very happy with it really. It's because we've run the events ourselves too, with a couple of different people from work. We've certainly made a lot of new friends. We've met a lot of customers that we haven't met before. It's shown us a part of the event too that we really like, and that's that everyone here has a car that they're very keen about. It doesn't have to be new, and they like to put the right bits on it. Some people have already been customers, but a lot of people still don't know where to find the right bits, and one of the things we offer really is a best product that's free. That's advice. We're happy to give truckloads of that to people.
The first event at Sandown Raceway, another Motorcana, was the closest competitors would come to off-road racing. Used to competing on smooth tarmac surfaces, the loose gravel added an extra degree of difficulty to an already challenging course. Proving girls just want to have fun, Ingrid Williams and Kelly Wallace teamed up as the only all-female team for this event. Originally intended for dirt rallying purposes, the girls' Peugeot 205 GTI should be in its element.
So it's a little 1.9 GTI, and it's doing well. It does
a no power steering thing.
Yes, no power steering, no nothing. So it's getting back to basics with driving, but it's great with the motor car stuff. So it, as I said, it holds its own definitely around the cones and things. And this is my second year. Last year I did it in a BMW E30, so it's different. So you need some different skills in that respect.
So is there much competition inside the cabin?
Not at all. No, I'm leaving all the fast times to Ingrid. I make no bones about that whatsoever, and I'm just happy to pass, shall I say. Keep it straight, keep it on the black stuff.
That's right.
A sentiment that many of the competitors shared. For co-driver Joshua Brownlee, it seemed the nearer his destination, the more he kept slip-sliding away. Closing the gap between second and first, Nataris finished on top this time, relegating Gazard to second place by a mere 0.91 of a second. The challenge, Sandown Circuit sprints. The facts, 3.1 kilometres in length, 13 turns, 1 minute 10.8251 seconds the time to beat. Justine Schuller is the proud owner of this Nissan 200SX, her daily driver and Dutton competition car.
Yeah, it is. It's an S15 200SX, and now it's had a little bit of work done to it, so it's going quite well on the track. Got a front mount intercooler, a couple of other little goodies to get the speed up a little bit. It's going, really well. We're really enjoying it.
A clever girl, Justine chose her co-driver wisely. Experienced drift driver Adam Newton is currently ranked 17th on the 2006 Drift Points table. Adam has a habit of taking someone else's car and putting it sideways.
I'm very lucky. It's been a fantastic experience. Justine's been very kind, and it's been a lot of fun. I've never done a Dutton rally either, and it's been a little bit tricky to kind of tell the brain to go fast and not sideways. I get a bit carried away and it gets a little bit loose, but yeah, I'm having a ball.
Reaching the business end of the competition, drivers cut corners and curbs in a desperate attempt to improve times. The consequence of this? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Andrew Fuller putting everything he had into his first run and still only placing fifth. A similar story for the determined David Finnemore, who placed 10th after this costly curb clip. With over 95 entrants, the 2006 Victorian round of the Alphera Dutton Rally is one of the largest fields in the competition's 6-year history. Event director Anthony Moss has been with the series since the start.
Yeah, still the original. A lot of the boys would say the original and the best. But 6 years we've been in Victoria now, and it's becoming one of the must-do events of the series.
Almost all of the 4 rounds for the 2006 series were sold out. A sure sign that this form of Australian motorsport is growing.
It definitely is. I mean, the beauty about these sort of events is obviously we're very safety conscious, but all of the events are run on closed racetracks, driver training centres. We go to airports, we'll go to a shopping centre car park. We don't care as long as it's got a big enough bitumen area. And that's the joy of the events. You know, a lot of guys have got these cars they spend a lot of money on, and a lot of the cars aren't eligible to race in any other series. One of the things that we do is there's no roll cages required for any of the cars. Just a couple of minor safety modifications, which include a fire extinguisher and a safety kit. And that's really it. So the guys find it's one of the best value for money things they can do, and they keep coming back every year.
So what will 2007 bring?
Yeah, 2007 we'll be back. We'll stick with the 4 rounds next year, so we'll probably head over to probably go to New South Wales first next year, then on to Perth, Queensland and Victoria. Yeah, definitely some big plans for next year, more driving, more events and more fun.
Barely leading and with only 2 stages to go, Peter Gazzard and Jeff Beaumont found themselves in serious trouble. A combination of weather and hard driving had destroyed their tyres. The rubber compound shredded through to the canvas. Peter and Jeff were faced with a hard decision: run the risk of driving on the damaged tyres or cop the penalty that would come with changing them. A penalty which could cost them the lead. The penalty, 5 seconds for every event after the tyres have been changed, applied only if James Taylor, the clerk of course, deemed the change unnecessary. The fate of Gazzard and Beaumont rested in his hands.
Oh yeah, the boys have been a bit vicious on their tyres over the weekend and they're starting to pay the price for it right now at Sandown.
So what's the story with the penalties?
Penalties, we're in the standard sub-regs, we've got guidelines. If it's a safety issue due to basically flat spot on an incident on the circuit, safety, there's no penalty. These bikes now, the ones we've got here, we're changing now due to overwear, over-exuberance while they're driving, and they've got to wear the freight. The tyres are meant to last from Friday to Sunday night. These bikes have overdriven the cars, so they now get a time penalty added on for every event after they change their tyres. It's as simple as that.
Ruling that Pete and Jeff's tyre damage was the cause of overuse, James penalised the boys an extra 5 seconds per stage for the remaining 2 stages, drastically shortening their lead. With many competitors suffering tyre troubles, changes to the scoreboard would be significant.
I think it's going to affect 1 or 2 people that are close up towards the front, but we'll wait and see when we get to the results at the end of the day.
And what better place to wait for the results than Melbourne's the Dick Whittington Tavern. With all events run, competitors settled for liquid gold, while the results for who would win Dutton Gold were tallied. The results have been finalised and the times were in. First up, the co-driver championships for this round. Richard Den Brinker finished 5th in the 1995 Porsche RS. Matt Coleman in the extraordinary Nissan Skyline GTR sat in 4th. Equal second on 231 points were Mario Calabrio and Jeff Beaumont, both driving Evo 9s. After a dismal day 1, Simon Arthur successfully persevered, winning the co-driver Victorian Championship for 2006, putting the Nataris Arthur combination in good stead to take out the team's title. The Outright Drivers' Championship was next, and in 5th position was John Caius in the 2006 Nissan Skyline GTR. In 4th place from Western Australia was Matt Cherry in the Mitsubishi Evo 6. Coming in 3rd place was Martin Nataris in a Mitsubishi Evo 8 on 384 points. 2nd place went to Peter Gazzard in a Mitsubishi Evo 9 on 335 points. And the winner of the Outright Drivers' Championship for 2006 was Andrew Fuller in the Mitsubishi Evo 3 on 301 points. Without doubt, the Outright Team Championships is the most prestigious award of the event. Made up of drivers and co-drivers points combined, it was still anyone's guess as to who would win. Finishing 5th were Matt Cherry and Kim Ledger, all the way from WA in the Evo 6. In 4th place, missing out on 3rd place by just 1 point, were John Caius and Matthew Coleman in the Skyline GTR. That left 3rd place open for Andrew and Ernie Fuller in the Mitsubishi Evo 3 on 754 points. The chase to victory between Nataris Arthur and Gazzard Beaumont waged all weekend, but it was Gazzard and Beaumont who won out, taking the flag in their Mitsubishi Evo 9 to become Victorian champions for 2006. The jewel in the Dutton Crown, the National Series Championships, is determined by a combination of drivers and co-drivers points averaged throughout the 4-part series. Greg Muller and David Pittman finished 3rd in their Evo 8. Also in an Evo and in 2nd place were David Finnemore and Chris Sprangers. Easily finishing 1st and taking out the National Series Championship for the 2nd year in a row were Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur.
I came along this series 3 years ago for the first time, and from then on it's been great and I've made so many friends. It's been really brilliant. But winning the series this year was good because we had some problems. The car wasn't brilliant to begin with, and we've got on top of those, and we've won the year, so that's really good. That's very exciting.
Just one last thing, Sam and Mossy, thank you. Fantastic events. I hope the series does grow. I'm sure it will. I hope some of these Victorian teams jump on the series. You guys are very quick, and it would make it a very interesting year next year if people like Beaumont and Gazzard team up and do the series. I'd like to also thank my wife for putting up with me for the last 12 months while I've been trying to get this car going. She's getting quite fed up of it.
No amount of thank yous going to help that.
Yeah, no amount of thank yous will help with that one, but she got a new driveway before this event.
The 2006 series of the Alphera Dutton Rally has been an amazing ride. If you'd like to get on board in 2007, log on to www.duttonrally.com. We'll see you there.